Welcome back to the Cardinal Report. We're going inside the Cardinal Corner with the wrestling team.
Hi, this is Vinny Sapienza reporting from North Central College Wrestling practice. I'm a 197-pounder. I'm a senior. We're going to play a pre-warm-up game here. The game involves throwing your headgear and seeing how close you can get it to the NC there in the middle of the mat. Andrew, how do you think playing this game prepares you for a tough practice?
It really gets you mentally focused. Got to make sure, keep your eye on the NC.
You know, it's always important to stay in the center of the mat, right? You know,
you can't be running towards the edge. You got to keep right in the middle so you can beat your opponent. If you're in the middle, you can beat your opponent.
Oh, here we go. Ooh, that was not a bad toss. All right, the next contestant we have is JT Rowe. JT, how do you think this game prepares you for a hard, mentally enduring practice?
Well, you know, it's competition like anything else. It gets my mind ready to go and hit the mat, man. Just throw it, sit in the center, I win basically every time.
And the throw. Oh, not a good day. Andy, I understand you wrestled for University of Illinois, and I understand that our practices are about 100 times more difficult than the Division I practices?
Absolutely true. Absolutely.
Spoken from a true D1 athlete. All right, go ahead, Andy. Oh. Well, Andy, that was awful. You're a freshman.
Yeah.
What do you think of these pre-warm-up games?
They're a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it's a good way to get warmed up.
Yeah, good way. What's wrong with your head?
I got this thing growing on the back of my head. It's just don't want it to bust open.
All right. I understand you're concussed.
Part of the time, yes.
Okay, well, we'll see how a concussed athlete throws. Here we go. Looks like the white and maroon headgear is the winner. That's Trent. That is Trent. Trent, here's your award.
Nice.
Congratulations. How's it feel?
Feels great, Vinny.
That's
Feels
good.
Great.
That's good. So you prepared for practice today?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
You ready to go?
Yep.
All right.
Now that I got this, I'm ready to go.
This is Vinny Sapienza signing off from North Central College Wrestling practice. You just saw the headgear toss game, and please join us February 11th for the CCIW tournament held here at North Central College. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. We welcome onto the show North Central College Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher. Clark, men's and women's basketball, they both hosted Wheaton College on Saturday. Kind of a nice turnout for the programs.
Yeah, it was the kickoff event for the Relay for Life that's going to be in April. They had some fundraising events and some publicity stuff at halftime. Turned into a really nice turnout for what was a very exciting doubleheader.
Yeah, and we had a chance to get some reactions from the doubleheader last Saturday.
Saturday was Relay for Life night, and the Cardinal women were looking for their second conference win. In the first half, North Central shot 18% from the field, but they still managed to stay on top by knocking down 14 foul shots and led 27-25 at the break. North Central was able to hold on to that lead until Beth Potts laid in the hard-fought bucket in the paint, giving the Thunder the 48-47 lead. The Cardinals tried to keep it close, trailing by only 5 in the final minutes, thanks in part to junior Jackie Arico's 17 points and 15 boards. But it wouldn't be enough, as North Central lost 64-55 to the Thunder.
We really need 5 people on the court, building their chemistry and playing together, which we've had the past 2 games, so it was a little disappointing tonight.
The men entered the second game with a doubleheader with a 2-5 conference record. DJ Twyman scored 17 the first time around versus Wheaton. The Thunder entered with a 5-2 CCIW record, and Tim McCreary, who's amongst the conference leaders in points, rebounds, and assists per game. It was Reed Behringer who sparked the Cardinals early on with a pair of threes, giving North Central the early 13-5 advantage. But McCreary and company wouldn't go away. He narrowed the Cardinals' lead to 17-14 with a pair of buckets. The Cardinals answered back, going into the break up 37-24. The Thunder would again fight back in the second half with Ben Panner sinking the runner, then David Eskay hitting the three. Wheaton cuts the lead to 4 points with 14 minutes left to play. That's about the time Twyman began to take over, drilling back-to-back buckets, extending the Cardinals' lead to 7. Twyman scored 21 on the game, chipping in 8 rebounds. North Central would never trail, but the game got tight after Twyman missed a foul shot to seal the game. Panner chucked up a half-court bomb in the final seconds for the win, but it missed. And the Cardinals beat the Thunder 60-58, improving their CCIW record to 3-5.
This is my last year, so I'm trying to step up and help my team as much as possible, so got the job done.
Clark, in that game, the women's team, they were heading into the second half with the lead. The men, they barely were able to hang on to the win.
Yeah, the women's team played exceptionally well for about 25 or 30 minutes, and they just kind of ran out of gas at the end. They had a shorter bench than Wheaton did. Wheaton put on a press, and at that point, fatigue had kind of set in and kind of spelled the end of it for them. The men's team played very well, particularly early, and then had to hold off the comeback attempt by Wheaton. I know Wheaton hadn't won in Gregory Arena in about 6 years, so they were hot to try to get that one, but came up short at the end.
Now, the men, that's back-to-back victories. They won against Elmhurst, I believe, the game before, and now they'll travel to Illinois Wesleyan. That game's tonight.
Yeah, the coaching staff had been waiting for them to play well in a close game at the end, and they got 2 of them in a row last week. They won on a last-second layup by Brian Evans on Wednesday at Elmhurst, and then were able to hold on in a really good defensive performance against Wheaton. They're going to need to continue that if they're going to try and stay in the playoff hunt at Illinois Wesleyan tonight.
Certainly. Clark, on to the men's and women's track programs. They hosted a triangular with Loras College and UW-Whitewater on Friday, and once again, dominating performances by both programs.
Yeah, they're still in the process of kind of rotating people around and making sure everybody gets the proper amount of warm-up. They're not trying to burn anybody up too quickly. And I know Whitewater was doing some of the same thing, but certainly encouraging. Some other outstanding performances in the field events. Bobby Kapuska in the weight throw got a provisional qualifier. Several outstanding qualifying marks in the pole vault, including an automatic mark from Jake Winder in the men's event.
Yeah, Jake Winder and Michelle Cristioni named as CCIW Athletes of the Week.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that we've kind of dominated so far in the early season, just with all the excellent performances they've had across the board.
Clark, you talk about early on in the season and dominating, but yet this team is still trying to find its rhythm. Will the track and field is such a long season? There's the indoor season and the outdoor season. Are they looking to peak at the indoor national championships, or is it more peaking at the end of May?
There will be some tapering for the ones who are going to go on to the championship meets between the conference and the nationals. More so in the outdoor season. They certainly don't want to mortgage anything they're going to do outdoors on an indoor performance.
Now, Clark, heading to the men's and women's swimming programs, they competed at COD on Saturday, but it was a small field of swimmers going.
Yeah, they had some athletes with some prior commitments and some injuries and illnesses. So they only took 4 women, and they didn't take any of the men's team. So they were more focused on individual performances and were able to come up with some outstanding ones without having really any taper work done.
You know, heading the CCIW meet coming up in a couple of weeks, are the Cardinals looking to make more of a splash than they did last year? Currently, there's 13 members on the women's roster and 4 on the men's roster.
From a women's standpoint, I think they're in position to potentially move up the ladder a little bit. They're still struggling with some numbers issues, and the men certainly are as well. So I think they're looking for individual improvement more than worrying about team standings at this point.
And they'll host their only meet of the year. That's coming up soon, a dual meet with Wheaton College.
Yes, it's kind of a highlight of the year. It's it's the only meet we have at home, really. And Wheaton always makes it interesting. They have a pretty good team, and they're always pretty good about those smaller meets like that.
Clark, thanks for all your information, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Jeff.
Tune in next week as we take a look at the women's basketball team and their game with Milliken. NCTV 17 is always keeping you connected with your area sports scene. I'm Jeff Mahoney. See you next time on your community television leader, Channel 17. Go Cardinals.